Hi everybody, I'm Ed.
And I'm Barb.
And welcome to the ARTyRV channel, everybody.
Welcome to the ARTyRV channel, everyone. Tonight is glass night, and we're so glad to see people here. We're so glad to see everyone. We hope that everyone has made it through the storm and your family and friends are safe and warm tonight. I do see some people from North Carolina and some of the states that were affected.
So we're glad to see you guys
We're
here.
glad to see everyone here. It's been quite a week.
Yeah, it's been quite a week, and so guys, don't forget, put a Q in the chat for your in front of your question, and we'll be happy to take your question for you. We, got a pretty piece of glass for glass chat tonight.
Yes, we do.
And so just to let Magali know, we won't be cutting any iridescent glass tonight. So.
No, we won't. But if you have any questions, just put them in the chat. We'll be happy to answer. Ed's going to be doing some glass cutting tonight, and he'll be answering all your questions. There is a question.
Mary's going for a walk.
Mary's going for a walk, and I'll just keep an eye on those questions.
Your earbuds are safe, Ray.
Yeah,
for a little while.
Yeah, we're trying to keep her calm. We have made some progress on her behavior. So
we have. Yeah.
Yes.
She's actually changing a little bit. She's growing up a little bit.
Yeah. With the help of a water bottle.
A little spray bottle, a little spritzer. We knew
She
that
just
it
has
worked
to
on our
look at
cats,
it.
but it really worked on her too.
She just has to look at it and she stops barking. So, yes, we're sending prayers out to all those affected by the storm.
We have heard from some of our friends that live in the area, and I'm afraid that the news photographs really don't do it. It's pretty bad.
South Carolina, upstate of South Carolina, is basically still without power and probably won't be back online until Friday.
Yeah, sometime this weekend.
But western North Carolina, a lot of those roads, they can't even get to people. So if you have any interest in helping with recovery, you can go to usa.gov, and from there to a lot of resources in ways to help the people affected by the disaster.
Yeah, you can follow those links, and these are the government organizations where the money gets to the people and everything. So and if you are going to donate, please make sure that it's a legitimate outfit that you're donating to, because they really need our help.
Okay, everyone. So we have a question.
All right.
And welcome to the chat.
That's right. Oh, wait, you know what, Barb?
What?
Welcome to our new members tonight.
Yes, welcome to our new
and
members.
welcome everybody to the chat. It's great to have everybody.
Let's make sure we got the first question. I think that is the first question right here. Let's welcome Ray to the chat. Ray's the guy that keeps us in line.
Everybody, don't forget, let's give Ray a big thumbs up. He's in the house tonight.
And if you need some information, Ray usually knows the link right to the video. So give him a few minutes and he'll grab that for you. So Carol wants to know, do you work on one project at a time from start to finish, or on multiple projects?
Carol, I've got 4 projects going right now. So we just switched off from one table, and I've got a project, two of the 3 projects that I'm doing I can build on one table. So I've taken on a larger window that the customer's been waiting and very patiently for, that I'll finish cutting out this week, and we'll get it put together as well. So yeah, so I do different tasks. I have a couple of repairs on the table, and I also have a window being drawn for a customer for approval this week. So I don't overload myself with anything.
Okay, I have a question here. Carmen asked, I have tried using baking soda and Dawn to clean the flux off of foiled sun catchers, but it made the silver solder dull looking, no longer shiny, even after using pledge. Did I do something wrong?
No, that's just what solder is. Solder is a off color. It's not shiny.
Well, your shiny solder, if you're going to leave your sun catcher silver, it is going to turn
It's a flat,
a dull
a flat
silver
pewter
color over time.
Yeah.
It will not stay shiny silver. Now, when we first solder a piece with 60/40 solder, make sure you're using 60/40. It stays shiny after I wash it, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Always have to get the flux off of it, so you're going to have to wash it with baking soda. Are you using 60/40 solder, and what kind of solder are you using, Carmen?
Yeah, you have to be really.
So if you could let us know, maybe that'd help us, or we try to find the
Yeah,
reason.
because the 60/40 seem, because of the amount of tin in it, seems to stay shiny anyway.
It is shinier. Okay, Laurie wants to know, I have a piece of white opalescent glass that has pits that stop my scoring and won't break on scores. Any suggestions?
Yeah, so when you're cutting glass and you run into one of those, what I call a divot or a pothole. So when you go into that, don't stop, just keep going. And you might hear a little or something like that, but keep your cutter in line, keep the same amount of pressure. Most of the time, that glass will break the way it's supposed to. What happens is if you let up on the pressure when you go into that divot, or when you make the mistake of picking your cutter up because you just fell into a hole. So continue the same amount of pressure and drive right at it. Oddly enough, the piece of glass we're going to cut tonight has lots of potholes in it and pucker marks. And so we'll hear them, but hopefully it'll all work out. But yeah, the big thing with potholes and your cutter going down in them is you have to drive back out and don't let up on your keep the pressure the same start to finish, and when you drive in, drive back out, or when you score in, score out. I don't know.
Carmen, it really doesn't matter how much baking soda you use, but you use just a little baking soda and kind of just rub it a little and rinse it.
Yeah, the whole idea about the baking soda, Carmen, is that it neutralizes the acid that the flux is made from. So, and did Carmen say what solder he's using?
60/40, different manufacturers.
Yeah, different manufacturers. And you could be, if you're mixing it, you could be getting that as well. So, we seem in our studio.
Or maybe it's cheap solder.
Yeah, we use Camfield. We use Camfield solder, and we use white metals, and those are the two solder manufacturers that we use. And Camfield's a little pricey now. White metals might be $1.50 cheaper a roll, but they're both good solders and they're both very clean. So
yeah, so maybe experiment. Ask some of your. Maybe where you buy your solder.
Yeah, and
call them or ask your supplier.
Yeah, and it could be are you using a paste flux or a liquid flux or
yeah,
I don't know. We use a liquid flux. We use Ruby Flux, and we don't have any problems with our solder after we clean it looking flat and dull and yucky. So that's not a good word, yucky.
Got some solder from a buyout. Maybe I need to try better solder. Yeah, that might work. So maybe patina those pieces that aren't shiny, just patina that black.
Yes.
And move on.
Clean them on. Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of times too, you can pick up solder that has flux inside of it, and if you're using gel, that's
gel flux.
Yeah. Try to use the Ruby Flux. Try and order some Ruby
Flux.
And you can go right to our link, and it'll take you right to the Ruby Flux.
The Amazon link. Okay, Laurie said, Thank you so much. I absolutely adore you both. My craft is getting better because of you.
Oh,
Thank you, Lauren.
thank you. You know, that's really kind. Thank you very much. You know, it takes two of us to make it happen. Actually, it takes an army.
Yeah, and we were busy today, too.
Ooh, man.
Let's see. We're getting busier and busier. Glass classes start in a couple weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks on the glass blowing classes. Our online store will open November, probably be November, around the end of
shipping.
October, the 1st of November for shipping.
Yeah. And we start making inventory the end of this week. So. So here we go. The furnace is on its way up.
Yes, it was at 1,075 when I looked at it earlier today. I don't know what it is
Yeah,
now.
so cycle 2, after it leaves 1,000, it runs for 6 hours. Only goes up 100 degrees in that 6-hour period, and then it starts clicking back off again.
Okay.
So we'll be hot by Wednesday.
Okay, all right.
It's so nice. It's on the phone. We can look at it.
Judy said she's doing her next project is a window 33 by 47, and she's doing copper foil. What is the largest piece of glass she can have in her design that is a sturdy size?
Well, here's the thing. You know, the smaller pieces of glass make it rigid, but also large pieces of glass, if they're drawn in and strategically placed, they can be a part of the structural integrity of the window too.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
so you don't want to do a great big piece and then put a bunch of little stuff around it. But if you want to run it through the middle and make a big piece as part of maybe some banana leaf, whatever you're doing, I don't know. But I found that when I'm doing big banana leaves and stuff, I don't chop them up, put them in there big, and it actually becomes part of the structural integrity of the window itself. So
But you have to have the right glass to make it look right.
yeah, to make it.
Pick out that perfect piece of glass.
Yeah, pick out that perfect piece. That's right.
Carol says that she bought some ruby flux last week. It makes the most beautiful solder runs.
There you go,
Perfect
Carol.
bead. And Carla said ruby flux was a game changer.
Okay, guys.
Oh,
Now we got to get them as a sponsor.
Listen to this. MB Volker went to a small show at the last minute this past weekend and surprisingly had our best show ever.
Awesome.
That's great. That's great.
Congratulations, Mary Beth. Congratulations.
Yeah, that is great. Okay, if you have any questions, just put them in the chat and we'll be happy to answer. Okay,
Well, I'm glad we could help a lot of, this
that
kind of
Ruby
change
Flux
a little
again
bit.
is available on our Amazon store, And we, the other things that we have there are all things that we've used ourselves and we recommend.
And we use them in our studio, or we wouldn't
Yeah.
recommend them. I mean, because we're just like you guys. We have to have materials to work with. So we're happy to share what we use and what we've been using for many, many years with you.
Carmen said, thank you so much.
I hope that works, Carmen. Thank you.
Question, is Hobby Lobby glass low quality? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe our viewers can answer that.
Yeah, because we don't
I wouldn't buy, I personally
we
would
don't
not buy.
purchase glass from Hobby Lobby. We don't.
I don't even know if we have a Hobby Lobby. We have a Michaels, but I don't think they
Yeah,
sell
I'm not
anything.
sure. I'm not sure. I've heard some things about their glass. I don't know. Sometimes, and I've heard that they sell Oceanside too, but I don't know.
Judy wants to know if we made it through the hurricane. Yes, Judy, we
We
made
did,
it
and
through
thank
fine.
you for asking.
Carol wants to know, does a deep inside curve create a structural problem? If it's round, no small points, will it create break points?
No. It shouldn't. It shouldn't, Carol. If anything, it'll make it rigid because it can't, especially if you're doing copper foil. That's the cool thing about, you can't do a circle inside a circle with lead. It's pretty tricky. But,
Magali said, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Magali says that Hobby Lobby carries some Oceanside glass and Chinese glass.
Yeah, I would watch. You know, if it says Oceanside on it, it's probably annealed pretty good. But the other manufacturer, I think I would just kind of leave it in the rack.
Right.
But if Hobby Lobby has Oceanside, and you're probably going to pick it up for $14-15 for a 12 by 12, you know, that's pretty good. And they probably have a few colors, but I wouldn't buy the other manufacturer.
It would also be a good place to go and see what the Oceanside colors look like, even if you're not going to buy it there. If you know you can buy it at your regular supplier, like mail order, and you want to see what the Oceanside colors, just go to Hobby Lobby and
Right.
look at the Oceanside color number and get familiar with their colors.
Yeah, and you know, the manufacturers of art glass, their websites have gotten really good as far as what their colors really are. I think with the technology these days, the cameras that are available, and the photographers, they've learned how to photograph glass, which is really difficult. So.
Carol R says glass at her Hobby Lobby is garbage, but they have great paper for patterns. Yeah, they are a resource
go.
for some things, but glass not so much. The stained glass is just like a little.
Little thing that they draw you in the store with. And
Yeah.
I hope that you grab all those silk flowers on the way out.
They have nice silk flowers.
Yeah, they do, and they're beautiful, absolutely
Oh.
gorgeous. Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking of Michael's.
Oh, that's right.
I
that
don't
is
know about
Michael's.
Hobby
I don't
Lobby.
know. Home Goods
Okay.
has nice silk flowers.
Oh, they do, yes. Let's see. Hobby Lobby glass is okay. Their tools and foil are another story. Okay, so
Yeah,
there's
the foil,
different views
yeah.
on it, but you know, go there, make up your own mind, and find your best resource.
Yeah, and typically, guys, if you have a brick and mortar stained glass shop in your community, or just even where you have to drive a little bit, support those guys, because they're the ones that are hopefully going to be there when you really need them, and rather than the big box store. Yeah.
Okay, Magali is letting us know the
No, go ahead, go.
The Wismac sale, the fall factory sale, is Friday, October 11th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Saturday, October 12th, 8 to 12. So
Wow. Look, get your trucks cleaned out.
gas up your vehicles.
And head on to the mountains. That's funny because today in Glass Chat we're celebrating Wismac glass actually, and we're cutting up a really pretty piece of Wismac.
Oh, good. Yeah, we love Wismac. Question to Magali, is it online? Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quarter sheets, short sheets, smaller cut lights will be 50% off. COE 96 kiln glass, quarter sheets, short sheets. Okay.
And smaller
And
cut
small
lights.
and
Okay.
powder 50% off. Wow.
They're trying to build a new warehouse, y'all. Get up there and help them.
It's only at the factory. You
Yeah.
can't order it online.
Yeah, no shipping.
Okay. So head on over there.
You know,
and
if they,
give those
yeah,
good
because
folks
if they have to handle it, they can't sell
Right.
it at a really discounted price like
right,
they are. So.
Right. Yeah. They want you to handle it for them.
Yeah, and we want you, when you go, tell them that Barb and Ed said hi.
Yeah. Tell them we said hi.
Tell them we said hi from the ARTyRV channel.
Okay. If you have a question, just put it in the chat with a Q.
I hope y'all seen
Mary's
that.
back. Mary's back. Mary's back.
Hey Ray,
Oh my gosh.
she's got one of your treats that you left her.
Uh-oh.
There you go.
She's going
Ah, she's fun. That's
crazy.
better than her barking, right?
Yeah, that's better. Have fun, little girl.
She's having fun. She's tied up for an hour. Thank you, Ray. Oh man, yeah. You know that annual art glass sale in West Virginia is it was. I heard a lot of good things about it last year, and
Yes.
so it's. I'm sure it's another good thing.
Yeah, compared to Bullseye, Wismac is always a great deal, Carol said. And yes, and the factory sale is awesome. And if you can get the COE, is everything Wismac COE?
Oh, they used to make 90 as well, so I think they just switched over to 96.
Okay.
We have a bunch of their black 90 is what we have.
Okay.
We have a
All
bunch
right.
of black 90
Okay. Well,
for those projects that we do.
okay.
And,
Sounds good. Oh,
So, hey,
the Yakagani sale is the same day, so you're
Yeah.
going to have to make it a day trip.
So 2 hours north of Paden City to Yakagani. So it's just like go up and then leave, spend the night, go to the sale the next morning, and then head home.
There you go.
That's it. Go to Paden City, get your stuff, drive up to Pennsylvania, get a hotel, get up in the morning, and go get some more stuff.
Carla said that there's only 2 days till the glass sale, and she's driving 3 hours there and 3 hours back home.
Go, Carla.
She's going to go, Carla.
Go ahead, everybody, get in your car, pile in. Pile in. That's awesome.
Okay, I did have.
Don't forget to tell them that Barb and Ed said hi.
Anne wants to know: is there a trick to cutting diamond shapes without any special tools? She is new and having a heck of a time getting them uniformly cut. Yes, there is.
Well, there is, there is a way to cut them, because typically, if you're going to cut a bunch of diamonds, you're going to cut out strips first, and then you're going to use you're going to have to make the angle to make it cut. Now, when you're cutting diamonds, typically a diamond is 3 times the width. So a perfect diamond is 1 inch wide and 3 inches tall. And then, if you're going to cut diamonds, you need to cut 3-inch strips to pull your diamonds out. But that's how I do it, and without using the Morton system, I can cut diamonds, and they're very simple to draw too. But they have to be. There's a formula for them.
But you still have to have a pattern.
Yeah. You can't just like wing it. You can't. I don't have a tape measure here, but you can't just wing it. Let me see. Go ahead, keep talking.
Okay, I just remember that we needed a pattern to.
You do. Yeah, you need it.
Well, you have to have a pattern to fit them together, because unless you want to measure it yourself,
Right.
the size of the foil, and fill that in. What are you doing? You doing a diamond pattern?
Well, no. What I was going to say is, if you have a 1.5-inch diamond, I just drew it on this paper here. An 1.5-inch diamond by 3. I just drew that out by making 1.5-inch strips on the diagonal, and then it came out. It's a perfect diamond. But you need a pattern. The answer to your question is you need a pattern unless you have the Morton system and can just set the jig up to strip out your diamonds.
Yeah,
The Morton
make a
system
pattern.
is perfect.
Yeah, you're going to have to make a pattern.
Yeah, you can make a pattern. Like I said, typically, if you look online at any of the suppliers that supply bevel glass, the standard size diamonds, you can see the math on them. They're 1x3s, 2x4s, 3x5s, and 5x7s, and so on. So those are the diamonds that give you your left to right and your height to make a perfect diamond. So.
Oh, Carla's coming to see us.
Please, we look forward to it.
Okay, Carla. Yes. Okay, I misunderstood. Yes, we'll be there Wednesday.
You better believe it.
You better believe it. Okay. Okay, she did draw one diamond pattern. Okay. Yeah, so make that diamond whatever size you want,
Right.
and just make a pattern of it. Then you're going to make a big pattern when you do the window, but you know how to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you tried the 100-watt Studio Pro iron?
Yes. That's the iron that I just ordered 12 of.
Yes.
And I love this little iron. what the main thing that I like about it is those of you that do copper foil, that Studio Pro iron comes with a 5/16 chisel tip on it. So it's small and it's great for copper foil. It's great for copper foil. But the other thing is that the Studio Pro iron is you can also switch the tip out.
Yeah, we bought those for our classes. Our classroom irons were getting kind of messed
so
up.
when you come down and take a class with us this late winter this year, you have new soldering irons to work with.
And
this
Christmas balls.
year. And Christmas balls.
Carla's getting Christmas balls.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so our classes for December will come out
Next
online October the 15th.
Wow.
Yeah, October the 15th.
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
The December classes will come out. What else we got going on? March, make and take will go online.
Yeah. And then our April beginner class will go online in December, right?
Right.
So we do April beginner class, May lead cane class, or lead light class, and then June we'll do our make and take, and then August we realign. Right?
Right, that's
Okay.
right. Susie says hi, and she's glad to know we are safe.
Yeah, thank you. We
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Susie. Okay, if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat, or we can do a
We could do
demo
little
if
glass
you
cut.
want.
Yeah, I did. You know what I did when I went by the shop today is I did grab a cutter. The head, the angle on the cutting wheel is the same as my personal cutter or as the silver snip, but it's a wide head. That's the only difference. And what I did is I put it on a brass handle. I put it on a Toyo cutter, and I took it off, but I took it off of a pistol grip cutter.
Okay, so we had a question come in about changing the heads on the silver Schnitt cutters, and they don't seem to work
They
so
don't
good.
interchange.
They don't interchange with each other as far as we can tell. If you want to interchange heads on a cutter, use the Toyo.
Yeah, because it'll give you that. Let me have the close up. I'll
sure.
show them the narrow. So this is my regular cutter right here. This is my regular cutter head with the 140 degree angle wheel on it. So this is the wide cutter. When I say the wide cutter, and when Silver Snit says the 5000, and they show you this head, that is the only difference between the 5000 and the 3000. This is just a regular Toyo cutter. This is not the 5000. This is the Silver Schnitt 4000 right here. The Silver Schnitt 5000 comes with a head like this with a 140 degree angle on it, and that is the head. You have to order that head is interchangeable. Let me show you why. Okay, you see how close that screw is all the way to the back end of this? Look where the screw is on this. You see they're not meant to line up. Silver Schnitt, this is their own thing, guys. You can't just throw a Toyo cutter head on a Silver Schnitt cutter that was made in Germany. They covered themselves on that, and they want you to use their glass cutters. So, but the only difference in the 5000 and the 3000 is the head, y'all, and they do not interchange. This one right here, if you notice, this barely fits on this cutter like that, and this is what's called a Great Wall cutter head. This is a cutter head right here. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with it. It's a really nice cutter. I'm not gonna. Y'all see this glass right here? Look whose glass it is right there. Look whose glass that is.
And
All Wismac Glass Company.
and what is the number on this, Ed?
The part number on this beautiful piece of glass, y'all, is 197 LLDR. 197 LLDR. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to lob this off a little bit because we don't need quite this much to work with. Now, you guys see this? Listen to this. There's lots of potholes and pucker marks in here. So the first thing we're going to do is let's lob off a strip this way. I'll try and get that. There we go. So you come down the end, and remember, you heard the same amount of pressure from start to finish, guys. And that's the way you have to do it. So we're going to take this, I'm going to scoot this up a little bit right here. I got my green pliers, just because I'm working with green today, I got my green pliers. So we started our run, and now we're just going to pull it down and away.
I have some questions.
Started down and away. I'm going to put this over here, guys, because we don't need that. We're going to work with this piece of glass right there.
What is the advantage to a wide cutter head?
You know, the only thing I can figure is is that I'll hide my index finger, is that my middle finger, and this is how I hold my glass cutter. My middle finger covers the entire head. Maybe it'll give you more stability. Maybe it'll allow you to keep the same pressure start to finish. I'm not sure, but let me show you where my middle finger fits on my cutter. Look at that. See how much bigger my finger is? So even though I have control with this cutter head, I have absolutely no problem. I've got it under control with my middle finger. But this cutter head feels just a little bit more, I don't know, a little more secure. I don't even know if this cutter head works. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Let's listen to it. Here we go. Let's listen. Ready? Oh, wow. That's really nice. It sounded good. It looks good. And we heard all those little, going through all those little nooks and crannies in our piece of glass. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this might be a brand new cutter. And we're going to take this and let's just see. Now there's the viewer that was talking about driving into potholes and it not breaking right and everything. We're going to go into several potholes. Here we go. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, 4, 5. Okay, I know my hand covers everything. If I had small hands, it would be a lot easier. So let's start the run, okay? See what happens. Okay, I think oh yeah, there's the run right there, guys. See it? Now, let's go over here. Now you've seen, we cut the glass this way, we turned it around, we started our run. Now we're gonna get in behind the run, we're gonna pull down, and we're chasing the run just a little bit further. Now the run is right here. There it is. Look at that. Wow, we get the light refraction on that run. It's awesome. So we're going to go in right behind it, and we're just going to pull down, and we're going to put that piece away because that turned out just fine. So remember, guys, when you're scoring glass, and you go, here's another pothole here. Here we go. Ready? We're going to start out with 3 potholes. Remember, we're going to turn around. We're going to start from what I call the hot end. We've started our run now. And now we're just going to chase it. Okay. So when you look at this edge right here, there's one of the potholes. See, it left a flare for me right there? And the other potholes are right here. There's 3 flares. 1, 2, 3. Those potholes left those flares, but because I drove in them and drove back out, the score never was interrupted, and it was, or if it was close enough that it followed itself right through it. So I hope that helps you. And so again, this is the wide head cutter. You can see how my hand, let me see, is that about where we need it, Barb, like that? Mm-hmm. So we're just gonna push. I really can't. And the whole time I'm going through all these potholes in the, but remember guys, if you'll keep the same amount of pressure, start to finish, it doesn't matter what glass. You see the texture on this glass? Look at that. Well, that texture is a little bit on this side too, see it? This is really a pretty glass, but it's got some, defects in it, or in what we call inherent qualities. And those inherent qualities are the pieces that are rippled and just like that. And did you see that? That right there? Look at that pothole that I drove through right there.
What is the number on that glass?
Oh gosh, Barbara, it's an Oceanside, a 528. I think it's a 528. It's a chartreuse and white opal.
Okay.
I think it's a 528.6.
Had a couple of questions come in. You want to take the questions and come back?
Oh yeah, take a break. Okay. Hi everybody. Thanks for paying attention and thanks for putting up with me tonight.
Okay. Kevin asked, what is the advantage to a wide cutter ahead? And there was an answer. Gardner said they think that the wide cutting head works with aligning with a straight edge for straight cuts.
Well, that's really a good thing because you can this is your straight edge and you need to use that. I think that's probably one of many explanations why people like a wide cutter. The guy I used to work with 45 years ago, he enjoyed what the glass cutter was called a score master. And the head just popped out of it. It had like little O-rings around it that kept the oil in. Remember Billy? Mm-hmm. And but he liked the Scoremaster with the wide head on it. And we'd cut thousands of square feet of glass every week. And he liked the wide head, and I liked the small head on my cutter. And
Carla said, put those scrap pieces in the box. The box.
Okay, in the box.
Okay, you know what the box is. Okay.
I'll put them in there for you, Carla. I will. You know what, Carla, for you, since you're coming in Wednesday, I'll gather all of my cutoffs from the last couple of shows and put them in a box.
What's the benefit of, Robin wants to know, what's the benefit of starting at the hot end?
It's probably, again, y'all, this is one of the techniques that I do. It's not necessarily right. It's probably not in a book at all. But what I like to do.
I believe it is in a book.
Really?
Yeah, I think it is in a book.
When I'm cutting the glass, when I'm doing a pattern, I finish, because I push when I cut my patterns. And I pull when I cut my straight lines. And those are two techniques that you'll develop yourself. And because there's pretty much, I don't know how you would pull a pattern. I have no idea and see what you were doing. But because you want to push it, we're going to end up exactly right. We're going to end up on the end that we finish on. You see that? Man, there are so many pucker marks in this. Okay, so this is the end that I finished on. So I turned that around just because simply I did just finish this and the score is hotter on this end than it is on this end. So I can start my run and it may go all the way across. I don't know. We'll see. Hang on. Okay, so it ran, and there is our score line right there. But yeah, so in my mind, the score's hotter on this end, and I feel better starting it from where it's hot rather than from where it's cold. That's just my logic behind it. It probably doesn't make any sense, and there'll probably be somebody out there that has their own channel saying, "Oh my God, he's going crazy on us." But here's the thing: a lot of people do that, but it's my technique, and if it helps you cut glass, then that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you, and just like you guys help us, you guys come up with some answers that we have no idea what the answer should have been to that question, but because you guys are out there in it all the time, and there's so many of you, you help us as well. So,
Okay.
what in the world?
Let's see. Okay, and
Wow.
so that would be, now when you're pulling the cutter, okay.
You want me to pull something?
Yeah, then when you're pulling the cutter,
Okay, so
you wouldn't turn it around.
no, but I come off,
Uh-huh.
and because I just pulled the cutter, the hot end is the hot end is right here. So because I pulled the cutter, then the hot end's on this end for me, and I can run it. And I want y'all look at that edge right there, y'all. That shows you the edge of the perfect pressure. Well, not perfect because nothing's perfect, but the exact pressure of my cutter from start to finish. There are no little jagged tooth marks. We all know what well, maybe we all don't. Let me show you. Let me show you what it looks like when you put too much pressure
What was
on
that?
your glass cutter. My brush just went down
Oh.
on the table. So I'm going to push this, okay? So here we go. Ready? And I'm putting too much pressure intentionally, okay? First thing, what happens when you put too much pressure? Look at that. You see the glass starting to flake? This bad boy's cooling off, okay? That score is cooling right off. But I'm going to show you what's more important when you're putting too much pressure on your glass cutter. Other than it sounds like that, the glass starts to flake. And I want you to look at the edge right there. Hang on, let me see if I can. Look at that. There you go, right there. You know what? That looks like a tape measure. Oh.
Carla, thank you
Carol,
so much.
Carol, thank you. Awesome.
Oh, it's Carol.
I
Thank
know.
you,
Thank you,
Carol.
Carol.
Thank you so much. I got some things going on. Thank you, Carol. We really appreciate it.
I do have to say, watching the news today, I went down a really bad hole, and I was able to get out of it, but it really had me for a while. So anyway, what I want you to see is if you push too hard on your glass cutter, look at that. It looks like somebody chewed on that piece of glass. If you're pushing too hard on your glass cutter, this is what it looks like. Lighten up a little bit. Give it some breathing room, and score a little less hard and get those edges, okay? When you score it correctly, look at the difference, okay? You see it? You see the difference on that edge versus that edge? Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
And can I say just one thing before we go back to the other thing? Sometimes you'll hear me say, "Wow, that cutter is hot." When your cutter's hot and it's brand new, a lot of times it will give you that edge as well, okay? And the way you get rid of that edge is by using your glass cutter and making sure that you use the correct amount of pressure when you're cutting glass. Okay, guys?
Yes.
I'll put these away for you, Carla. I saved my little pieces of iridized glass for Magali, and she got out of here last trip without me giving it to her. So. But I'll save them for any of y'all. It doesn't have to be just one or two people. I'll save them for you.
Very good demo, Ed. So we'll make sure we go back and make sure that those folks can't come up again on our live chat. But they'll probably change their name and come back. That's pretty crappy. But
Yeah, but
so what?
you gotta. There's pigs everywhere.
Yeah. So you know what? That's a lot of effort for nothing.
Yeah.
But we love you guys, and we're sorry that that's going on right now.
That's okay,
If
though.
you have a question, put it in the chat. We'll be happy to answer. That was a very helpful demo.
Was it?
Nancy said, yes.
Okay. Well, you know, because I talk sometimes about, oh, your cutters, or somebody says, some of our viewers said, what do you mean by your cutter being hot? Well, when you score, you get a brand new glass cutter. And this is it's not a brand new cutter, but it's a brand new cutter head. So this is why when I push just a little bit too hard, I can, you know, that thing's hot. I didn't use any oil. It started flaking. And those are the things that you have to look for, because the amount of pressure that it takes to score your glass, guys, is this much right here. I don't know if you see the head depressing on my my glass cutter, my Toyo glass cutter tip here. But this head, the spring, when I depress it, boom, there it goes. And that's enough pressure for you to cut your glass. We'll do that one more time. I'm gonna depress the head, and I'll show you close up. I'm gonna show you close up. Let's see. I'm trying to think where. There we go. Over the white paper. Mm-hmm. So you see that gap in between my cutter and the head right there. I'm gonna turn it there, right there. Now the amount of pressure it takes to score your glass is that. So when you put your cutter on your glass and you're holding your square, when you depress your head, that's it. Ready? Here we go. We're gonna try this. I'm gonna hear that. All I did was depress the head, and you heard it. There you go. That's really, really a nice edge. So the other great thing about doing that and getting a pretty edge like that, you only have to clean that edge up. If you cut it to your pattern, then you only have to clean that edge up. You don't have to spend a lot of time grinding a piece of glass that you're going to have to grind enough to make it fit. So become proficient at cutting your patterns, and then what happens when you do that, you spend less time on the grinder and more time putting it together. So it's a benefit. It benefits you and your studio and your time. So we can think about that, and this is a beautiful piece of glass. Y'all will be able to see what I'm using this glass for probably here in about 10 days or so. And we finished the cast net window. We're just waiting on a phone call so that we can go down and install it as soon as the light box is ready for it. Because this window goes on a wall with that's illuminated in a box on the wall that is 144 inches by 40 inches.
Gardner said Morton has a lot of good videos on cutting glass. Yeah, they have a lot of videos. They got a lot of good equipment that you can use, especially when you're starting out.
They do, and if you're doing, if you got to do windows and you got to do 5 windows, and each one of those windows has 500 diamonds in it, just buy a Morton system. Don't even try and do it by yourself. Just buy it and knock it out, because it's got your pins, it set you up in the right place, and all you have to do is move the glass through the process and score it, right? Mm-hmm. It's great.
Yes. Nancy says she hates grinding, and what do you say about that?
I don't grind. I try not. Well, I do. I can't say that I don't grind, because I do. But what I do is I clean up. I don't grind the piece to fit. I clean it up, and the whole thing about the whole thing about your, I can probably draw on this piece of glass, and you can see it. So when you cut a piece of glass, it looks like this. Well, you know what it looks like.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know what it looks like. So when you cut a piece of glass, you have a perfectly, sometimes you have a square edge. If you don't do that, if you don't have a square edge, your grinder, so sometimes when your glass breaks, it breaks, the edge right here is at an angle. What your grinder does is it comes in and cleans that up. This is way over exaggerated, okay? But what happens is your glass is going to break at a little bit of an angle, especially if you tap it.
That's what she meant. That's what Nancy said. She said that's why the demo was so great.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
There you
Awesome.
go.
There you go. Well, I'm glad I could help, and we'll probably get a short out of that.
Larry Murray is here.
Hey, man, it's almost showtime where you are, buddy.
Yeah, Larry, if you want to put the date in there, you go ahead and do that. And
Yeah, please
people
let everybody know
about your event. Morton system, measure, measure, measure. Yes.
Yeah,
You
but
still
that's
have to
okay.
measure. Yes.
Yeah, you still have to measure. There's everything we do, we have to measure, and so just keep that in mind.
If you have another question, just put it in the chat. We'll be happy to answer.
A story while you guys are thinking of a question for us. A story when I was in junior high school, and or not even junior high school. It was probably like 5th or 6th grade when we started learning about fractions. Okay, 9 or 10 years old, and man, I just couldn't get it. I could not add and subtract fractions. I couldn't get the common denominator. I didn't get it, and bip upside my head with my dad. But finally, and oddly enough, y'all, not only did I get it, but that's all I deal with all day long. And that's all I've dealt with for almost 50 years. The one thing that really bugged me in school is the one thing that I deal with all the time.
October 5th through the 13th is the
Oh,
Balloon
the
Festival.
Balloon Festival, yes. Well, thanks, Larry. I'm glad you put that up. And please, that's just a couple of days away.
You must be really
Next
busy.
weekend starts Saturday. Yeah, you must be really busy, Larry.
Thanks, Larry. Oh. Iridise broke this week. Is the green glass that you are cutting, who is the manufacturer of it? The dark green and blue? That's Wismac.
Yeah, the dark green and blue. This one. This is Wismac glass, and the other one is a Oceanside glass. I don't remember the number. I want to say it's a 538, but I'm not sure.
And what is the Wismac?
The Wismac is a 197 LLDR.
And it's a beauty.
No, you're a beauty.
You're funny. Okay. Do we have any questions out there that you would like Mr. Ed to answer? Because he's right here
I'm here.
for a few more minutes.
Oh, that's awesome. It's measure once and
Cuss
cuss twice.
Or something like
Or
that.
so-
That's
yeah,
a good one. That's
I like
a good
that,
one.
Alan. That's good, man. That's good. That's good. Oh, and I don't know if I thanked you last week, Alan, for popping up the guy that actually invented the glass cutter back in the 1800s, in 1868, as a matter of fact, I think you said. So thank you for posting that up. And, those little tidbits of information always help. So
Oh my gosh. Measure once, cuss twice.
I love it.
Keep that in your mind.
I might have to make a sign like that, Alan. That's awesome, buddy. Measure once, cuss twice.
Okay, guys.
Done that with frames a couple of times.
Carla said she picked up an old Florentine window that was painted on the exterior side. The came is loose, window coming apart. How do I clean this old thick white paint off the 6x6 pieces of glass?
You can, You can use a paint remover on that because you're not going to hurt the glass. You just don't want to leave the glass on there. If you can use the paint remover on the glass because apparently you're going to take it apart and completely redo it. Because I've never had any luck other than a wire brush and a drill to get paint off of lead. So I would suggest completely redoing it. And Florentine glass is still available. The Florentine glass is made by Wismac and it's still available. Matter of fact, we just used so much of it, it's crazy.
Well, I guess the bots are having fun tonight, and they're terrorizing people that are trying to build a community and have a nice evening. So,
well, I keep my cool about those things.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Punks. Children that don't have anything better to do, grow up. Okay, so now...
Thank you, though, Ray.
Thank you, Ray. They're putting you to work tonight, aren't they? Okay, maybe they could go pick on somebody else. Okay, did you answer Carla's question? About the exterior, the window coming apart? How do you clean the old thick white paint off 6x6 pieces of glass?
Yeah, I said you can use a paint remover, paint thinner.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not on the textured side, but it still should. Right. Paint remover should still work.
And a brass brush, because brass is softer than a wire brush. Okay, you can use a brass brush after you paint on the little bit of paint remover, give it a time to soak off, and clean it up. So.
Yeah, just be careful with that paint remover and that brush.
Yeah, just
and
do
cover
it
your
outside.
face up.
Yeah, if you can do it outside.
You can do it, Carla.
But remember that Florentine is still being made. Taylor and I installed some windows in a church a month or so ago that were shot out.
We must be popular, McGolly, if the bots are following us.
Yeah, we must be something. I don't know.
Okay, well, it sounds like we're getting near the end of the evening, and I think we're going to, we fixed this great soup yesterday.
Oh, man, awesome.
It was like...
Vegetable beef soup.
Yeah, vegetable beef soup, and we have a ton of it left over, and I think that's what we're going to have tonight.
So we're going to have some soup
We're going to have some soup, and it's so good to see everyone tonight and hear from you guys.
So before we take off, if anybody's got a question in there, go ahead and put it up. And so, Carla, I will save this glass for you. I'll go ahead and put it in a box in the morning. And
you better.
I will.
Carla's coming. She's driving 3 hours.
Wow, that's awesome, Carla.
Can't wait to see you, Carla, and anybody else that wants to travel to Conway, South Carolina. We'll be open all day Wednesday, and we have some glass for sale.
Yeah.
Michael McBride.
Michael, thank you, Michael. Let's go ahead and get that going. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's awesome. You guys, we really appreciate it. And don't forget, hey, please, don't forget about our friends in the 5 states, 6 states that are really suffering. And say prayers for them, and just keep them in your prayers, guys, because they're going to need it. And if you're lucky enough to be able to donate, go ahead and donate to the Red Cross go to USA.gov. And that'll get you where you need to be if you would like to help these people, whether they're in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, or Florida.
Okay, you guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you, Ray. Thank you all, our members, our viewers. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Carla, we'll see you Wednesday.
And we will see you next week.
On Monday night at 7 o'clock. So for the ARTyRV channel, everybody, I'm Ed.
And I'm Barb.
Good night, guys.
Good night, guys.